Hello everyone, welcome to a video that I think and feel and I've been working on creating for the last few weeks. In amongst the chaos of everything that's been happening is about the importance right now to connect, experience, work with, merge with, understand, embody, love, utilize our higher selves. This is not a new concept in spiritual communities, but I really want to encourage and illuminate the need that we have right now, well, I feel anyway, for stepping out of the noise, stepping out of the chaos, stepping out of other people's messages and just the messaging of the world in all types of communities, right? And returning home to the seat of our own source, our own power, our own downloads, our own abilities, our own gifts, which I feel like comes through the channel of the higher self. So this video is basically just an overview. I've just finished, so excited, creating the Higher Self Connection course, which is basically 10 different ways that you can connect to your higher self. Connecting through journaling, connecting through walking through nature, connecting to affirmations, connecting through sound, connecting through visualization. There's like 10 different journeys that you can go on. So if you're excited to connect to your higher self in tangible, visceral ways with some help, I got you. If you want to do it alone, I got you. Do it alone, right? There'll be an activation at the end of this little chit chat that will also help you kind of feel the energy, upgrade your system. Let's start. 1, why is there a need right now to connect to your higher self more than ever? Who here feels absolutely like depleted by the challenges of life? I feel like the last 2 months, 3 months, I'm also like 6 months pregnant, so which is crazy because it's gone so fast. The hormones and the changes are probably evoking something special for me to prepare for this child, but just general planetary and ascension vibes have been gnarly. We've been exploring and processing themes like abandonment and loneliness and isolation and brokenheartedness. Everything that's been surging from the depths, that's been purging and clearing, has been really, excuse my language, fucking dense. And there are so many ways to regenerate and rejuvenate, but what I keep coming back to as a rejuvenative force is the frequency, the steadfast is the word, love of peace and assuredness and stability of the higher self. So I want to pose the question, have you ever met your higher self? Everything kind of changed for me when I started recognizing my multidimensionality and learning how to create interdimensional landscapes where I can meet my higher self, where I can create a visualization of what she looks like. Sometimes my higher self appears to me as like, she's like standing on a mountain and her hair's flowing in the wind and she's got this like cape on and she looks so cool and I'm like, whoa. Sometimes it just feels like a deep, ancient wisdom force. Like there's no visuals, there's not really any sound, it's just a presence and a feeling. I want you to just tune in for a moment. What is your go-to method right now of being aware of your connection to your higher self? Is it just a knowingness? Is it a conversation that you have in your head and you're like, oh, I haven't thought that in a while? Is it a line and a stream of conversations that you can kind of tap into in the back of your mind that you recognize don't necessarily come from your human consciousness? Connecting to your higher self has so many benefits. 1, as I just said, recharging your energy body, which is what this activation is, with the light of your higher self is such a congruent force with who you are. What you need what you vibrate to, your past, your future, your DNA, your cosmic lineage, your personality, your likes and dislikes and your gifts, that is so specific to you. We are all so similar on this journey as humans, learning and growing and evolving, but also your higher self is, and you are such a specific being. The needs that you have, the frequencies that you need, the regeneration, the themes you're going through require self-care, self-nurturing. So connecting to your higher self to regenerate the specific frequencies that you need for your heart or your throat or your familial ancestral line regeneration, everything that you're working through can come from your higher self. So I really recommend using your higher self not only as guidance, but number one, as a way to regenerate your power, your light, because I feel the level of depletion that we're going through right now, and I'm just going to talk for me, is extreme. Like on the physical and the mental, I just feel like my little cup is so damn empty, and I'm like, please, please, please. So the very next thing that I'm creating and I'm so excited for is called, I haven't really named it yet, but basically I got shown this realm. It's like this cool, I went this morning, it's like super high dimensional. It's like a cosmic quantum temple of light, and it's like a rainbow temple that we go into. And I'm going to create a chakra series where we can go in, lay down, and regenerate with the forces of the earth, the new earth, the ascended masters, the cosmic light, the God source light. Just, we are masters of channeling energy, and we are masters of creating and honing and amalgamating many different strands of light. As light workers, we can pull energy from anywhere, right? So it's my intention that I kind of create a series where you go in and regenerate, really deep focus on each chakra body, each energetic center for like 20 minutes to half an hour, because as well as connecting to your higher self as a regenerative force, there are millions of frequencies and beings that want to help us. Why wouldn't we learn to calibrate our frequency into those realms to receive? So right now I feel like it's not really a time of clearing. It's a time of like receiving, taking more, having more, using more, and topping up for the next leg of the journey. Because and I'm resilient. I'm a resilient little chick. Could have been taken out of this planet a lot of times, and I'm still here kicking, which means that other people are finding it hard. You know what I mean? So yes, that's the chakra regeneration. Maybe like cosmic regeneration will be ready probably in a few weeks. I'm going to spend some time and create that. But back to the higher self. Number 2, using your higher self as a way to zoom out of your life and to receive answers, to receive questions. In the course, I create this journey, and you can create this for yourself, where you basically go into a meditation, take yourself to a higher domain, a higher realm. In this journey, we go to the Akashic Records and call in your guides, call in your teams, call in your higher self, and learn how to wait and to feel their presence and to sense your unique energy separate to the other energies, and become aware and read their energy and say, okay, you feel like Michael, you feel feminine, you feel like this. Oh, you're my higher self. And then creating a feedback loop through whatever your psychic senses are. For me, I'm very visual and sentient and empathic. So you might use your body as a barometer, but asking to project like a scene on the wall or a screen on the wall. And what you can start to utilize, and this is what I teach in my multidimensional course, is having a question, having a roundabout scenario or situation in mind. Like I did this the other day. I went up and I asked, how much longer? Because I wanted them to give it to me straight. I was like, how much longer am I going to be in the washing machine spin cycle of all of these old wounds? Because I'm pretty bored of feeling so flat and low. And basically, through my senses I just posed the one question, and I just said, show me, how much longer am I in this? Because I find that you can get through something if you have a little bit of information. If someone says, oh, it's going to be a few days, okay, I can handle that. A few weeks, okay, not so great, but I can handle that. Anyway, they said to me 3 weeks. And not only did the information that I got from my higher self and the realm say 3 weeks, it showed me, it's so beautiful. It showed me through my senses, through my knowing, through my feeling. It's not that I'm just seeing everything. I use all my senses as one. Why I'm going through this, where it stems from, what the karmic cycles with the people that I'm journeying with are about, how long until they're ending, how long it has been since these cycles begun. And they gave me this really vast perspective of not only my soul's lineage and journey, but it gave me perspective on stepping out of my human life and my humanness and my Katie Jane that wants to control things and understand things and recognize, wow, there's so much more happening underneath the scenes, underneath the surface than I can even realize. And I just need to take a break and a beat and be like, okay, 3 weeks, yes, that feels long to feel shitty, but look at what I'm processing. And it showed me how I'm going to feel on the other side. So how I kind of sensed that was they showed me weeks, almost like a rope, right? And it looked brown and murky and dense. But then there was this kind of portal. For me, it's kind of like October 16, I'm going to be feeling better. Don't know what it is for you. But you can get numbers or you can see a calendar. Ask for energy to present information to you in whatever way you can receive it, and learn to sit there in the higher realms and just receive any hits, any intuitive guidance, and just journal it down. Connecting in those spaces helped me to understand what I'm working with, how I can speed up the process, and the answer, PS, is always taking more responsibility. So I've found that if I see that I'm going through a process, even though it's tiring, and I allow space to feel frustrated, that I feel like none of my family or people around me that I'm in these contracts with are doing any of the work, that's fine. The way that I find I can move through these is saying, okay, how can I take full responsibility for my part to play, my journey, my soul's lesson, my growth, whilst also honoring my human that is feeling very angry and frustrated and tired. But how can I embody the higher light perspective as well as the human perspective and hold space for all of these elements? And as soon as I take one step forward into my higher self to take responsibility for my part to play in whatever thoughts, emotions, beliefs, like for me, I've been exploring abandonment and the disempowerment of my feminine power, or just my power at all, which probably sounds funny because I feel like people listening to this are like, you're very powerful, but I don't feel like that. I haven't felt like that in my human life at all, really. I have internally, but it hasn't been a sensation where I walk around being like, I am so powerful. Like I felt very hurt and rejected and all these very human emotions, right? So connecting to your higher self and taking responsibility for what you're working through is such a powerful step in the right direction, because then you get guidance and insights. And I just started asking before I go to sleep, hey, can you show me something to help resolve this issue? Hey, angels, can you help me move through this? So it can just literally be one sentence before you go to sleep. And inside the course, there's a sleep time meditation where you can access those realms and clear your energy body out, and as well as a morning meditation, but connecting to your higher self and saying, hey. And then that night I had a dream about going to this beautiful new earth realm through a projection beam in my heart. I'll have to make a meditation of it. A projector beam came out of my heart and opened up this new space, and in it, it was like people arrived there on ships, and it was like another version of Earth where everyone that was walking around was aware that there are portals and stargates in the Earth that are available just as we go to the airport and you can catch a plane to Amsterdam. They were showing me that everyone in this domain was aware that there are Stargate portals. And then they showed me these like, they're kind of like feline beings, just different types of cosmic beings coming in. And when I recognized them, they recognized me, and I like burst into tears, and it just felt like this recognition of home. And everyone still looked human in their physicality, but we were connecting to these other dimensions and cosmic beings, civilizations you could call them, or cultures, really naturally and really easily. And I walked around and they showed me how to utilize energy here in this temple, and it was more advanced technologically, but the feeling was pure and easy and light. So I took that. They basically said, in the next, I'm not going to say times because that's just doesn't matter, but in this lifetime, that is opening up for us. So just asking before you go to sleep to be shown something can really pivot and change and oscillate and shift your frequency. Another way that I connect to my higher self a lot is through sound. Obsessed. Sound, using a bowl or a fork, and there's a little snippet. So go to the link below and you can go tune in to a little snippet of it, but basically using sound to attune every cell, every thought, every energetic pattern in your body for like, if you can hold that frequency for 10 minutes with affirmations, and the affirmation is, I am now attuned to the frequency of my higher self. And you literally just feel, sense, embody the consciousness of your higher self. And if you can hold that, that will set the shift, the trajectory of your day, of your life, the way that you respond to other people, the way that you move through the world. And you know what? It's so liberating to step out of your human shit that the mind creates and the drama and the news and everything into this resource that is true and stable and whole. And the more that you can teach your cells to entrain to that frequency, the more regulated you can become to find that as your homeostasis and live from that space. And I'm not saying that that's an easy thing to do, but it is a possible thing to do. And I think that's what we're all kind of heading for. So there's so many benefits connecting to your higher self. And I think maybe we'll just talk about how I see the soul, how I see the higher self, and how I see the oversoul. And I'd love to hear in the description, how do you connect to your higher self? How do you use your higher self? What benefit is it to connect to your higher self? And how has your life changed and your psychic gifts changed by having that connection? And if you haven't connected to your higher self, what beliefs or what disconnection do you feel, and what are the beliefs generating that perception of disconnection, right? Because it's fun to explore what you believe is the source of an experience or not having an experience. Yeah, so human, Katie Jane has a physical body. We all have physical bodies, right? Then for me, I am my soul. So I am my soul. I sense and feel and tune into my soul as this like deep, I was seeing color, deep, radiant, luminescent, effervescent, ever-present source of golden light. I feel it right here, and I'm aware by journeying with the frequency of it that it has always existed. And it is journeyed. And when I look at the time stamp of my soul, so I visualize like a time stamp of my soul, I see that it goes over here to this dimension and then goes over here, and then it's had time on this planet and this planet. I can almost read the psychic impression of my soul's kind of lineage and journey, and maybe it hovered here for a while and then went up here, right? I believe that I am my soul. And then your spirit, I feel that my spirit is in my energy, like my body is inside my energy field, right? My energy field is this. When I have a human experience, my higher self is the amalgamation of the guiding force that kind of moves through me and supports and assists me on my journey. My oversoul is a higher amalgamation, and I met my oversoul one time. It was crazy. It was like this big bridge, and all these tiny little boxes were versions of me co-currently right now experiencing different realities. So it was like these little cubes of energy, life. And it went all the way up into full God source light. So a part of me right now is just in with source on the highest domain, on the highest level, right? A very radiant, luminescent fractal of me is on every level, every domain, every lifetime, stack. So when I have a higher self, or when I am my higher self, I feel like I am the expansion of my field. And then I contract myself all the way down into this human energy field, right? To have this very human experience of separation, of duality, of limitation, of lessons, growths, pain, suffering, right? Joy, whatever. So at any point, I know that my soul can expand and shift frequency from my human energy field to the frequency of my higher self energy field. So I see it always like babushka dolls. Doom, 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 doom. And then at any point I can expand out to the, if I can hold the frequency, it's very high, of my oversoul light. And then you can expand to the frequency of all that is, right? The expansion and the luminescence of everything that is. And not only can you expand out, but you can contract in, right? From my human energy field, I can contract down into my inner child fractals. I can contract down into templates and encodings and records of other lives that I've lived, that I've now in this life coming to explore. So I can feel pockets of repression, and every layer down that I go feels a bit more constricted, right? Restricted. So an orb of light going down, going down, going down. And then I can find these little particles of energy that feel hurt or broken or isolated or disconnected. And I can read the energy patterns. And because they're connected to the whole holographic universe, Richard Gerber wrote a really great book. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, I can read all of the energy imprints. So what I'm trying to say is you have the ability to know and see and feel every version of you, to the most expanded version to the most contracted version. And when you're pinpointing and channeling your frequency into these very retracted states, that's the importance when it is to come out into the higher light, into the higher awareness, into the higher octave that will ultimately liberate and free you from this suffering. I hope this rant is making sense. I'm just kind of going for it to explain. So I feel like I am my soul. I have a human energy field. I have a larger field of my higher self. I have an oversoul. I have a full source field. And the more chances that you give yourself to viscerally, tangibly entrain every particle of your body, every wavelength of your mind, every quark, every spark, every light of your frequency to these higher octaves of self, the easier it is going to be to have perspective and to move through and to have resources and energy to top you back up, to get the information, to move on with your path. So let me know, do the activation now, have a little go and check out the website below. There's some free activations from the course. It's live next week, next Tuesday. Dun, dun, dun. And even if you don't do the course, I really recommend at this time, spend more time journaling, connecting, singing, moving, being with just your higher self, because it's just so freeing and you don't need to you can just tap out of what other people are saying and all the different messages, and you might be very surprised at the information that you get for yourself, especially if you're here to upgrade your psychic gifts. Your higher self is the ultimate psychic, the ultimate seer, the ultimate knower, the ultimate feeler, the ultimate psychic. So if you do want to upgrade your psychic gifts, spending time with your higher self and connecting to that is very powerful too. So I hope you enjoy this mini activation. Check out the course, and I'll see you on the flip side, everybody. Bye.